If you want to learn some lessons from the Bible billionaire, no, I mean trillionaire, this video is for you. I will teach you lessons from the richest man in history, a man who used to receive 25 tons of gold annually, which is equivalent to $1.5 billion. But before we start, let us first agree that man is colorblind, race blind, sex blind, education blind, and couldn't care less who brought you up or in what circumstances. Man is one of the most neutral substances on earth. If you truly believe that your race, sex, or upbringing can keep you from becoming rich, then you might as well give up here. Let us dive into it. Lesson number 1. Seek wisdom. To succeed in any endeavor, you need wisdom. Solomon asked for one thing from God, wisdom. Solomon tells us that wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Without wisdom, no matter what you gain in life, it will fall apart. One of the reasons why many lottery winners go broke after winning millions is that they lack the wisdom to use money, invest it, spend it, and give it away. Without wisdom, in this case financial literacy, you will never achieve any financial success. Proverbs 17 verse number 16, the Bible says, "Of what use is money in the hand of a fool, since he has no desire to get wisdom? Be a seeker of wisdom and knowledge. This is a never-ending pursuit." However, if you only seek wisdom without following the second lesson, you won't amount to much. Lesson number 2. Develop your talent, not your resume. No government anywhere in the world will create jobs for all of us. It is a lie that has been spread for so long that it sounds like the truth. That is why many people keep upgrading their resumes to get that dream job. According to Solomon, don't look for a dream job. It doesn't exist. If you want one, you have to create it yourself. And you do that by developing your talents and gifts. You see, society has led to many people saying that education is the key to success. Education is important, but it is not the key to success. I have seen PhD holders struggling to pay bills. The only thing that will make you successful and open doors for you is your gift. When well developed, people will come to you and pay you to use your gift. Just as people are attracted to an apple tree to get apples, people will also come to you to benefit from your gift or even pay to see you using it. What is your gift, and are you developing it? Proverbs 18 verse number 16. Man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men. You won't succeed in harnessing your gift or developing your talent unless you understand that lesson. That lesson, work hard. You need to work hard if your gift will ever see the light of the day. Let me cut to the chase. It is a myth to think that people get rich accidentally. That is poor man's observation. To be rich, you have to be intentional and a hard worker. You need to work so hard that your best friends mock you and the rest of your acquaintances watch furtively from the sidelines, half in wonder and half in contempt. Work your work, whatever your work is, because all work works. In all labor there is profit, we are told in Proverbs chapter 14 verse number 23. Solomon was a firm believer in hard work. He also believed that laziness leads to poverty and slavery. He wrote these scriptures about hard work. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Proverbs 10 verse number 4. Proverbs 12:24. The hand of the diligent will rule, for the slothful will be put to forced labor. That is slavery. So work hard and don't look for shortcuts to getting rich. Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread, but whoever follows worthless pursuits, shortcuts, lacks sense. Proverbs 12 verse number 11. By working hard on yourself, your gift will make room for you financially. This is how it works. You identify your gift, you develop it, and serve it to the world. And that is why people will pay you to use your gift. A good case in point is Tiger Woods and Serena Williams, who have earned hundreds of millions of dollars by identifying, developing, and using their gifts. Now, what do you do with your money? The next lesson will tell you. Lesson 4. Invest and diversify. Investing is how you grow your money, but King Solomon wants you not only to invest, but to diversify your investments. Ecclesiastes chapter number 11 verse number 2. The Bible says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Diversify your investment across various assets, industries, and geographic regions is a common approach in modern finance. This strategy aims to spread risk and minimize potential losses by not relying heavily on a single investment. However, if you do all that and fail to adhere to the next lessons, all of your work will turn to ashes in your hands. Lesson 5. Never cosign. On September 20th, 2024, I received a letter with the reference, Notice of default at guarantor responsibility. Reason being, I violated this lesson, and now I may have to pay a huge amount of money. And I wasn't alone. When I picked up the letter, there were other letters on the same issue. You see, when I consigned about 4 years ago, I didn't know it was unwise, wrong, and even unscriptural. Proverbs 22 verse number 26, the Bible says, "Don't agree to guarantee another person's debt or put up security for someone else. This is because if someone's failed to pay, their creditors may come after your possessions." Violating this principle means taking 100% ownership of the consigned debt. In my case, I am now paying someone else's debt because I agreed to endorse it without considering this lesson. In his book, Your First 100 Million, Dan Pena argues that the best definition of a guarantor is a fool with a pen. So fundamentally, if you can't avoid putting your name on the agreement, make sure you are fully prepared to take responsibility for debt repayment in the event of borrower's default. Lesson number 6. Avoid consumer debt. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. Proverbs 22 verse number 7. Debt is not necessarily evil. It is consumer debt that keeps many in slavery, working to pay for what they have already consumed or worn out. Never use debt for consumer goods. You become a slave working to pay off bills. And finally, number 7, leave inheritance. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but as soon as wealth is stored up for the righteous. Proverbs 13 verse number 22. A true mark of a good man or a good woman is leaving behind wealth for their grandchildren. You should always consider the next generation in everything you do. Unfortunately, many parents squander their resources. Their children at best inherit the wind, and at worst inherit debt.